What's up, everybody? It's Wade again with Beat Techniques Recordings, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on sidechain compression. Now, sidechain compression, that is how you get the pumping effect that you hear in a lot of dance tracks or techno. It's kind of that driving, it's how it just feels like the beat is just breathing and swelling. So I'm going to show you the way I do it. And I do that by sidechain compression. So a quick way to kind of explain what's happening is the kick, at least the way I do it, I use the kick to trigger the compressor on the other tracks that I want to pump or to have that effect. So it'll make sense in a second once you see it done. So right now I have a beat going on. I have an instrumental here, and if I were to just start it off, kind of hear a little bit of the beat. So what I want to do with the track is create somewhat of a pumping effect. All right, so I'm gonna show you how that's done here. So the first thing I'm going to do, since I'm using my kick to trigger when that pump comes in, every time that kick hits, I want that kick to compress it and cause that pump to happen. So the first thing I'm going to do is right here I have my kick track, and so that you can kind of hear the rhythm that I've got going on there. And what I want to happen is I also have this synth. And what I want to happen is I want that synth to pump with the kick. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is duplicate that kick track. All right. So actually I've already duplicated it, but if you don't know how to duplicate, just track duplicate. There you go. So you'll have a duplicated track right next to it. Once that track is duplicated, then what you're going to want to do is you need to route the audio from that duplicated track to the compressor. Now let me pause for a second to explain. The reason why I duplicate it is because I want to be able to use that track as a trigger, but I still want to have full control over my actual kick track without it being interfered with by what I got going on with the side chaining. So I duplicate it and I have that track. So after you have it duplicated, what I did is I just set it up under bus 1. It was, there's no right or wrong bus to send it to, they just have to match up. So I set that up under bus 1. So now I have the output of that track, instead of it being out of the interface or whatever your output usually is, your output for the audio on that track is going to be that bus. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go over to the track that you want to experience that pump effect, or side chaining technically. So I want that to happen on this synth. So what I would do is I would then open up the compressor. Of course, you have to assign a compressor to it. Open up the compressor, and then what you're going to do is there's a little key right there. You want to make sure that key is lit up. What that's doing is that is enabling the side chain option. And then there's a key right there, and what you want to do is you then want to change that. That'll be the default no key input. You want to change that to bus 1, because that's the bus that you set up as the output for the track that's going to be your trigger. So now that happened, just set your compression where you want it, and the more heavily you compress it, the more dramatic that pump is going to be. So let me just show you how that's going to sound. So now you have the synth going. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in that duplicated kick track. and now you should hear the pump. So that creates the pump effect. And so now you see the reason also for duplicating that track is since the audio for that track is now being used as a trigger, you still need your actual kick to come in, and so you can still hear the kick. So all together, if you have the kick, you have this track as your trigger, you have this track that's being side chained. So like I said, the more dramatic you compress it, the more you'll hear that pump. So play around with the thresholds, play around with the compression ratios and so forth until you get the effect the way you desire it. And you can apply that to as many tracks as you want. So all you need to do is, if you have another track that you want to compress, you can go ahead and if you want to sidechain, go ahead and add a compressor onto that track. And then just like the other track, just make sure you change the bus to bus 1 or whatever your trigger is bus 2. And there you go. You now are able to create that side chained or that pump effect and really drive home that kind of a techno type of feel to your mix. So that's side chain compression. Again, this is Wade with Beat Techniques Recordings. Please check us out at www.BeatTechniques.biz. If you need any editing, mastering, or anything like any type of tips and tricks, please contact us. Leave a comment if you have a suggestion for a tutorial, something you need to figure out how to do. We take suggestions. Probably go ahead and help you out and make that video. So visit us on the website, like us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and keep coming back because I intend to keep putting up tutorials regularly. Have a good night.